You have to get to a place where you understand that the only way that you can grow in life, the only way that God is going to add more to you, the only way that you will see those big blessings that you are praying for is if you allow God to stretch you. Trials and tribulations and difficult seasons and hard times are the only way that we grow. You cannot grow, you cannot hold more, you cannot be prepared for what's next if you don't allow yourself to sit in the difficult seasons of your life. That is the only way that you will learn and be prepared for what God is waiting to bless you with. Sometimes we want to pray ourselves out of the difficulty. We want to pray ourselves out of the valley. But there is an appointed time to come out of the valley. There is an appointed time to come out of the difficult season. The Bible says there is a time and a season for everything, and God has an appointed time for everything. So there is already an appointed time for you to come out of that grief. There is already an appointed time for you to get whatever it is that you need for whatever it is that you're praying for. But because we want to be comfortable, because we want everything to go our way, because we don't want to go through anything, sometimes we miss the very thing that God is trying to teach us in that valley, in that difficult season. Because it is in that place that you grow. It is in that place where you learn more about who God is. It is in that place where you learn how to trust God. You have to be in a place where you allow God to be God, where you allow God to show you himself, where you allow God to show you what he wants to do in your life so he can show you who you are. Because sometimes we have the capacity to hold more than what we think. God knows us more than we know ourselves, and he knows exactly what we need for where he is taking us in our life. So learn to sit in the difficulty. I know it's uncomfortable. I don't like to be uncomfortable either. I don't like to sit in difficult seasons either. I don't like to go through hard things either. None of us do. But it is the only way that God is able to add to us. It is the only way that we can be prepared for what's next. You can't go through life and think that everything is just going to go your way, because how will you learn? How will you receive more if everything just goes your way all the time? It can't. If you have kids, if you have nieces and nephews, if you have children around you, right? A child cannot grow. A child cannot learn if everything is handed to them, if they get everything their way. Because when they become an adult and they get out in the real world, it's not reality. They're not going to be prepared. They're not going to have the capacity to hold anything because everything was handed to them, because everything that went their way, they had no room to grow and receive what they needed to receive to be ready for the real world. You have to allow God to stretch you in this season so that you're ready and you're prepared for what is next.